everyone. My name is Rachel Harshfield, and I am a 7-star diamond coach and been a coach with Beachbody for about 15 months. So today I want to talk to you guys about team unity and how I keep my team unity together and what it is that I do with my team, and just share some of the things that maybe will work with you guys. First and foremost, I hate doing videos. I really do. They make me nervous. I do maybe about 6 to 7, sometimes 12 or 20 different takes before I actually post what I make. I've gotten better with them, but it's something that was always one of those really uncomfortable things for me to do. It still is. But I know that it's important, and I know that having my team see me is a lot better than having my team read me. When you write a post, the written word can take on so many different connotations. And so being able to have a conversation, even if it's one-sided with your team, helps to build and helps to put that, they could hear it in your voice, like your passion and your enthusiasm, where they can't get that in words. Like you'll write in all caps and they're gonna think that you're yelling at them when really you're just passionate and really excited about something. So it's hard to differentiate between the difference. So I always like to do quick videos, and I try to keep them quick. And I always tell my team I'm gonna do a really quick video, and it ends up being like 20 minutes long. So I try to do videos at least 2 or 3 times a week to my team page. I have different types of pages. So that's another thing that I do is I have a team page, which is not just my personally sponsored coaches, but it's also all of my team's personally sponsored coaches. So it goes as many layers deep as it needs to. But the thing with that was I found it a little bit hard to kind of control the amount of members that are in that group because, as you know, coaches quit and they go inactive. Yes, I know it stinks when they quit, but it happens. It happens to the top coaches, and you don't know why these coaches quit, but they do quit and they do leave the program. And it's hard as your team gets so big to remember to have people go in and remove the coaches that were no longer active or that have left the program. So what I established and what I put together was an accountability group. And inside this accountability group, we put coaches that went inactive, coaches that, not that they've quit. If they've quit, we don't put them in the accountability group, but inactive coaches and inactive challengers, as well as active challengers and active coaches. So everyone's kind of in this accountability group. And what's really great about that is that when people are, let's say they did the 21-day fix and then they go inactive and they had some great results for it, but they didn't really, maybe they didn't put as much effort into it as they wanted to. But anyways, they left the program for whatever reason. And so now they're inactive. They're an inactive coach or challenger. They go inside of my accountability group. And what I found that's pretty cool about that is over time, they see people posting their before and afters. They hear about new programs because now they're in this accountability group. So they're still connected, but they may not be engaging as much, but they're still connected. They're still watching. And they'll come up and say, hey, you know, I heard there's a 21-day fix extreme. You know, maybe I'll give it another try. I'm getting ready to go on a vacation, or I have a wedding coming up and I really need to get my butt in gear. So I'm going to jump in again. I saw you guys talking about size. Maybe that's something. Do you think that would be something good for me? And it opens that door again. So you never want to close a door fully on anybody, and you always want to keep that door just cracked open a bit. So that's how I formed the accountability group. And I got to tell you, the accountability group for me has been, it's been great because as a leader, you want to know how much time you have to devote to your different groups. And so this has been able to allow me to still devote a little bit of time and kind of just plug in there every once in a while and give them a little taster of what we're doing, but not give them what we give them in our challenge groups. So our challenge groups are a little different. We also, when we sign brand new people up, we'll put them in the accountability group until the challenge group comes. So they'll hear, those people who have went inactive, they hear about the excitement that's being built for this new challenge group that's going to be starting, especially when there's a new program that's being launched, and we'll share it in the group like, oh, we're so excited, and this is the accountability page, and we'll talk about it. And so they know that there's a new program starting, and even if they don't jump in, they'll see the results circling on the pages, and like, oh, maybe I should do that, maybe I should do that. So it just always keeps that kind of in the back of their head somewhere. In the challenge groups, we have different challenge groups. Sometimes we run program-based challenge groups. Sometimes we run, we usually tag team with another coach, so it's not all on one coach. but that also helps to build unity and build relationships within your team, which is very, very important to build relationships within a team. Your team is only strong. It's only as strong as your weakest link, and that, or only as strong as your weakest coach. There's no weak coaches. Everyone's here for a reason. Everyone's got a purpose. Everyone's got a why. So putting coaches together, and they may not even be accountability partners. They're just coaches that are like, hey, I want to run this group. Hey, you want me to run it with you? Okay, yeah, great. So they have camaraderie between each other, and that builds loyalty, and it builds trust, and it builds a family-like atmosphere, which is what I wanted from the very beginning with Faithfully Fit, which is my team name. I wanted to have that team loyalty, that team unity within the coaches. And anyone who knows, if you get a bunch of women together, sometimes it's very, very hard to cultivate that. So it does take work, and it does take effort. Another thing that we do, or that I do, is I instant message my coaches. So not only do I know their why, and their big why, and their small whys, and their goals, but I also do a lot of private messaging with them. I start off every week with a list of coaches that I need to reach out to during the week, and I cross them off as I go. It's a quick, hey, tell me what's going on. How are things going? You are pushing for this. Tell me where you're at. And I take notes, or I'll write it down on my computer, or I'll take notes as we're talking. Or I'll just take that whole, if it's a private message, I'll take the whole thing, then I'll cut and paste it into a folder with that coach's name on it. So when I go back to talk to that coach, I can pull out that folder and say, okay, so last time that we talked about you wanting to do X, Y, Z. Remember, you have to do X in order to get to Z. So where are we at? Are you, at Y still? Are you at X? Are you almost to Z? Like, where are you? And how can I meet you there? Like, it's, for me, I know that a lot of coaches don't, by the time your teams get so big, you may not do that as much one-on-one, but I really do think it's important. As a matter of fact, it's very important, especially when you're kind of a young team. My team is pretty young. I mean, I've only been doing it for just over a year. And my diamonds are pretty solid. I mean, they're not wavering diamonds. They're pretty solid diamonds. I have wavering diamonds. I mean, I have a couple that, come in and out, and that's okay. One thing that I always tell my team, and I'll tell you guys too, your rank is your rank is not your worth as a coach. Your rank is your rank. It's like a flashy car or the size of your house. It is not your value as a coach. Your value as a coach and as a leader is what you choose to put into your team, and how you choose to build your business and your structure of your business. You can have, you can be a 4-star coach and be killing it and helping so many people, depending on how you structure your business. Some people go for both and some people don't. So understanding inside of your team who's going for rank and who's going for volume. I say go for both. I say that, you should be doing everything that you possibly can to help people, and to not lose sight of why you started this whole journey in the first place. We talk about it all the time. You hear us talking about the 3 vital behaviors, but for me, and if you are a newer coach like I am, and you kind of want to have this big momentum thing to get you started in your business, I got to tell you what I did from the very beginning was I did all the training. I didn't wait for my coach to tell me to go and do the training. I did the training from the very beginning. I was like, okay, this is what I got to do. Okay, I'm going to go do it. And I didn't expect them to pave the way. And I didn't want them to. I wanted to take control of my own business, and I wanted to take control of my own team and really forge those relationships, build a strong foundation by understanding who your team is, what your team's needs are, and understanding that as your team becomes very diverse, that you're able to talk to them at their level, take yourself out of the situation, take yourself as their leader out and the emotions out, and talk to them as if you would want your leader to talk to you. That really helps building those relationships with people, because that's what this whole opportunity of coaching is really about. It's about building relationships and understanding people and really speaking to their hearts. And I feel like what's happened inside of my team, I can speak to you from my team's perspective, is that we are like a family. Like I said, tonight we're having a party, and I'm so excited because one of my rock star coaches, who I've known for just over a year, she lives like 2 hours from me, not even that, maybe an hour and a half, in Orange County. And I finally get to meet her, which I'm so excited because we haven't been able to do this. And a lot of her diamonds that are in her downline are coming with her. So I'm so excited to be able to do that. But it's very important that no matter how big you get, to stay small. No matter how how big your teams and their downlines get, try to stay as small and as intimate in with your own personally sponsored diamonds, and even like down a level or two, get to know them. Try to take some time and going into their team pages and just being present in those team pages, because that shows your coach that you're supporting them, that you believe in them, and that you're there to help them no matter what. That's what works for me. Everybody is so different in this business, and respecting the fact that we are all different is what's pretty dang cool, because it just goes to show that anybody can do this. You don't have to be a registered dietitian, which is what I am, and you don't have to be, a bartender or a single mom. You can be anybody. Anybody can do this. You can be in your 50s. You can be in your 60s. It doesn't matter. And that's another thing too, is I do have a little older team, which I think is fantastic, because that also brings in a completely different dynamic of a culture and of people and of society that we're maybe not as ambitiously recruiting, which we should be. They want to retire someday, and you get into your golden years, and you start to struggle with your health and your fitness, and you start to struggle with osteoporosis and arthritis. And so, I even have pages, and maybe they're not on Facebook, and that's okay, because I've got, groups that are outside of Facebook. So you really have to meet your team where your team's needs are. And as your team grows, to make sure that you're as diversified as, like my dad used to always say, make sure that your portfolio is very well diversified, because you just never know. And it's true. You can't put your eggs all in one basket. And if you have, and if that's kind of what you've done, you have one thing that just has always been your go-to thing, and it works for you, and it seems to work for your coaches, but then it stops working, change it up. Because you can't ever depend on one thing working for you forever. You've got to make sure that you are constantly upgrading your service. So kind of look at it like that. I hope this helps you. I don't want to take a lot of time, because I know I'm so big on I'm not taking a lot of time. But I guess one thing that you just take away from this whole thing is just make sure that you get in touch with all of your coaches, and that you speak to their hearts, and you really reach out to their why when you speak to them, and not have it be about your why and what you want for your business and for your team. But remember that when you're speaking to your coaches, they have their own business. So understanding how you can help them attain their goals within their business for what they want for themselves. Because if you speak from your heart about what you want for your team, it most likely won't be the same thing as what they want for their teams. So I hope this helps, and I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas. And by the way, this is like the most awesome training ever. Not my video, but like everyone's videos. They've been so awesome, and I've so appreciated this group and all of you, and getting to know you guys all. So have a Merry Christmas, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.